In my last stream, somebody gave me actually a really good idea. Well, multiple people have given me this idea. So I want to try it out today. And that is essentially me caddying a round of golf in PGA Tour 2K25. Now, what I mean by that is I'm going to be going through every shot, my thought process on every shot, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, where I'm going with it, everything. I'm going to be going through every shot that I am going to be taking out on the course today with you all. So this is a caddy round with Respawn. So for today's course, we're going to be playing at La Isla Brava, made by Arctic X Maze, somebody who we have played a lot of courses from, so I'm really excited to give this one a shot as well. I'm going to be doing default conditions. We're going to be playing round 3 pins from the back tees. Everything is default, which is firm, fast. So let's go out and get started with this round with Respawn while I caddy everything for you all. So hopefully you all can learn just kind of, how I'm playing the course and why I'm playing it the way that I am. So here we are. We have thick shaper out here. Low wind, actually, 4 mile an hour. So for me, I am a draw bias. So, you know what? Let me put on the, I'm going to put on the blue, like, showing the fade and draw. There we go. So now you guys can see it. So I start off as a draw bias. Now we have a 6 mile an hour wind to our right to left, so this is going to actually carry it out even more. It's 25 down, so what that means is this is going to add about 8 yards of distance for this driver as a carry. So 300 is where we should be landing. The wind is, slightly in our face, but it shouldn't really do anything. I'm going to aim this. I want to stay out of these bunkers, because if I go in these bunkers, I'm screwed. So I'm going to aim this a little bit more center. We're going to grip and rip. So we get a slight close, so we're going to miss this left as well, but we stay away from the bunker, so this is completely fine. This slopes out a little bit to the right. This is a great drive. So we have 164 to the pin. It is 37 feet up. So for every 3 feet of elevation, it is either going to add or subtract 1 yard. So for this, it's 37 feet. So 37 divided by 3, 12. 12, 24, 36. It's going to be 12 yards. So if this is 164, we are actually going to go 152 is what the distance is going to be. And 152 puts us right here. But we don't want to do that. We want to be at the pin. Underneath the pin, though, because it is sloping from backside to front side. So we want an uphill putt. So for this shot, I'm going to be clubbing up 175. I'm going to be doing a choked approach to 170. Now again, subtract 12 because of elevation. So this 170 shot is actually going to go 158. So 158 would put us, below the hole still, which is good. So because of that, I'm going to add just a little bit with my shot shaper. We do have to play this off a little bit to the right because of the wind. And these grids are, I have 2 green reader, so these are about 1 by 1 yard. So I can actually do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can kind of go out here. We do have a lie that is right to left, so this ball is going to come out a little bit left if we hit it perfect. Because of that, it's not too bad. I'm just going to give it a little bit extra here, just because of the lie. Because everything is working right to left for us. Draw bias, the wind, our lie. So let's hit it. So we got pin high, which isn't bad, but definitely not what I was wanting to do. But this is still not a bad putt. Now, for putting, it's a little bit harder for me to give you guys, like, this is why I'm doing it for putting, because I do all of my putting just from the feel of it. And what I mean by the feel is I have putted tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of putts. Probably not hundreds of thousands. Tens of thousands for sure. Putts in this game series. So it's just me kind of going from past experience by seeing this type of green, this type of break on these fast of greens. However, I do have a PGA 2K21 putting tutorial. It's a method of counting beads. I am going to link that down in the description. It is a good starting point if you want to learn about putting in PGA 2K. And then you can just start with PGA 2K21 as the base, and then adjust for 2K25 from what you're seeing, for the beads that are moving in 2K25. Or if you're Green Reader, if you don't have Green Reader yet, or if you have all of the Green Reader, there's just 2K21, the video I'm going to put in the description, kind of gives you the baseline, and then PGA 2K25, you just have to adjust for it. For this, though, it is up the hill. I'm going to add a little bit because I like to hit through break on uphill putts. So we're going to add a little bit, and we're going to hit through a lot of that break, and we're going to make our putt. So we start off with a birdie. All right, so now we have a long par 3. It is 21 feet down. 21 divided by 3, 7. So this is going to add 7. So instead of 210, this is going to go 217 just because of the elevation. Now the wind, the 7-mile-an-hour wind, will cut some of that out. I've been doing just essentially 1-to-1. So instead of 217, it's going to go 210 because of the wind. So the elevation should cut out some of that. Now we are bringing in a 4-iron. Now the thing with the 4-iron is it comes in at a lower trajectory, which means it's going to roll out more normally than most other clubs. So because of that, and because this is slightly uphill towards the hole, I do want to finish this either somewhere underneath, left or right, doesn't really matter. They're both pretty similar. So because of that, I'm going to actually bring this back some. Now, pulling back on the left stick is going to add loft, as you can see by the blue line. So if I press up, it delofts. If I do this, it max lofts. So I'm actually going to get this up into the wind a little bit more. Now, getting it up into the wind will do two things. It will make my shot shorter just by lofting. This is without the wind. Just doing this makes it shorter. This club goes shorter because I'm lofting it more. So not only will it loft it and cut distance out there, but it'll also get it up into the wind longer, which will also reduce some distance that I get. Now, the right stick is attack angle. Now, attack angle does also adjust loft. So up on the stick makes the loft greater. Down on the stick makes the loft lower. But attack angle also does a couple of different things. Pressing down on the right stick compresses the ball down into the ground, which generates more spin. Now, pressing up on the stick, it will loft it up. You'll get under the ball, but the grooves will still hit the ball and generate spin. Now, with the 4-iron, it's not as much, just because it's a 4-iron. And I do want to add a little bit of spin because, again, I want to finish below the hole. So that's a good distance. We're getting it up into the air a little bit. Again, the wind is slightly left to right. So I'm going to play that slight left to right here. If we end up a little bit short, that's fine. Left to right is also fine. So we're getting it up into the wind. And I mean, that's just a phenomenal shot. But that's kind of my thought process there. And we just essentially have a tap in for birdie because that shot was ridiculous. Oh, one more thing too. I'm also playing on pro swing difficulty. I moved it to pro just because I want to show you guys like what the perfect shots look like, not me spraying the ball all over the place. So just another thing. I'm playing on pro difficulty. Just so people don't think like, oh my God, you're playing on Master and you're absolutely crushing it. No, I'm playing on Pro. All right, so we have a majorly downhill shot. It is 84. What is that? 26, 8, 16, 24, 28. It is 28. So instead of 292, this is going to go 302, 312, 320 is what it's going to go. So the thing that I like to do is I actually like to use the book to see what that means for this actual course. So from where I'm at, 320 puts us about to the shadow. So that's shadow right there. Now we do have a wind slightly at our back as well. Now I want to avoid the water. There is water up ahead. And if I hit this, 320 yards, I have 100 yards in. So it actually doesn't matter that we hit it a little short because our second shot's going to be just a normal approach shot. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to do a 3-wood because a 3-wood's going to get me just onto the fairway. We're going to play this off to the right because we do have a wind. That's right to left. I do want to avoid the bunker, though. So we're just going to hit this 3-wood down here. It's still going to get us, because again, it's adding 28 to the shot. So it's still going to get us in. We're going 317, which is perfect. So now I have an approach shot in with my 60 degree. We have an 8-degree mile per hour to our back, which is going to add distance. Now, it isn't going to be as much just because the 60 degree isn't in the air that long because it's only going 105. Even though the loft is high, it is still not in the air that long. 105 yards isn't that much. So for this, instead of 98 adding, 8 to 9 yards because of wind, which will get us to 107, I'm going to play it a little bit less. Now, again, I avoid downhill putts as much as I can because downhill putts are a little bit more extreme with their break. You can kind of lose balls as well if you're putting down an extreme slope. I always try to play for uphill putts. Now, the way that the lob wedge works is it spins a lot more. Of course it does. You're generating a lot of loft, a lot of height, and the grooves are going to be adding a lot of spin. But when a wind is at your back, it actually will reduce that spin because the ball is coming out and is actually kind of flattening a little bit as the wind is pushing it. Now, if you're going into a wind, the ball will come out and then the wind will kind of bring it back. So the ball is coming down at a steeper angle, which is going to generate more spin. So for this shot, it is uphill. That's okay. It's only a yard. We're going to kind of ignore that. But I am going to try to bring this back a little bit because I do want it to stop beneath the hole. But I know with the wind at my back, it is going to bounce a little bit firmer, bounce a little bit further on its initial bounce, and not have as much spin generated out of it. But, as you can see with our lie, we have an uphill lie slightly to left to right. Now with wedges, the left to right doesn't affect it as much, but coming into an uphill lie that we have here, that is going to add loft and also generate more spin. So because of that, I'm going to bring this back to account for that. Left to right, so we are still going to play it out a little bit to the left. The wind is going to bring it back slightly, though. We're going to shoot this in. And there we go. It's pin high, which is okay. Again, we have a nice little easy putt. And we get another birdie. On to hole number 4. And we have our first par 5. So 70 feet. Again, if we do the calculation, it's not 25. It's like 23 is what it's going to add. So if we add 23 to this, that is 302, 312, 315. So if we look out 315, 315 puts us about right in between the bunkers. We do have an 8-mile-an-hour wind slightly in our face, so that's going to take a little bit off. And then we're going to look at this fairway as well. So this fairway actually slopes out left to right into the bunkers. And also if we hit it too poorly, it slopes out right to left into the bunker. Now, if I was playing this course, like, competitively, I wanted to avoid those bunkers. Even if I don't have a shot into the green, which I wouldn't. I mean, it'd be a pretty hefty 3-wood. If I was playing this competitively, I'd probably do a choke tee shot, and I would probably pull the choke tee shot back a little bit. Because I want to finish before the bunkers. I don't want to take a chance at going into the bunker, because if I go into the bunker, then all bets are off for me going for this green. So I'd probably play this back a little bit and just finish a little bit short of the bunkers to still give me, you know, a chance of a 3-wood in. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to do a choke tee shot. I'm going to bring it back, coming into the wind a little bit. This should finish for the bunker with the wind. It's not going to. We're going to be in the bunker. Damn. Well, I should have played it back even more. That is unfortunate. So we can see here, I now can't do it. I have to lay up, which is fine. Like, it's fine to lay up. And coming out of the bunker, I mean, this is going to get eaten up a little bit. If you press L2, you can actually, you know, see your lie a little bit better on, like, shots like this. I mean, you can also, you know, do this. You can change your view up. I like this view, so I usually just hit L2 or left trigger. So it's going to come out left to right. And the wind's there. We're going to lay up. We're just going to get this out of the bunker. And there we go. That's unfortunate, though. I went into the bunker. I probably should have looked at the slope out a little bit more. I don't know. All right, we have 111 in, 16 up, so it's about 5 is what it's going to do. So if I hit this 118, it's actually going to go 113 because of elevation. Wind is right to left, slightly into our face, so I will usually take off like about a yard-ish for that. So if this goes 113 with the elevation, it'll actually go about 112 because of the wind. And 112 actually isn't too bad. This isn't sloped out too much. Back to front, so even with a little bit of spin on this 52 degree, it should still be okay. So, we are slightly up the hill, but not much. We're going to play this off to the left, or the right a little bit. I have a slight pull. But, that is still good. So even though we went in the bunker, we played it safe, and we still get a birdie, so that's okay. All right, we have a nice little par 3 now. So, par 3, 161 to the pin, 5 feet down. So it's going to add about a yard and a half. So instead of 164, this is going to go 165 to 166. Now, we do have a wind at our back as well. It is a left to right, but also at our back. So we have to account for that too in our distancing. So if we bring a 9-iron in, let's see what a 9-iron is. It's 154, so it's going to play to about 155, 156. That 10-mile-an-hour wind, I'm going to add probably, it's going to give us, I would say, about 3 yards of distance that it's going to be adding, roughly. Probably 3-ish yards of distance. So if this plays at 154 to 156, add about 3 yards. I'll play it safe to 4. That's going to be about 160. And because the wind is at our back, again, it's going to bounce a little bit more and a little bit further. So for that, I'm going to play it even more safe. I'm going to do a choke tee shot to 149. Now, a choke tee shot does get through the wind a little bit better. That's the good thing about the choke tee shot. Like, tee shot, a little bit higher. Choke tee shot, a little bit lower trajectory, and it keeps the same amount of spin. And it actually has a little bit more control in. So for this, it's 149. Add in about 2 yards for the elevation. That takes us to 151. The wind is actually moving a little bit more left to right, so this is going to add even less. It's going to be about 2 yards probably. So that takes us to 153. I want to try to finish essentially left or at the cup. I want to avoid this. We don't want to hit this. So I'm going to play this off to a little to the left. I'm going to add just a touch. Again, pressing up on the left stick flattens trajectory out, which adds distance. And I'm going to add a little bit here as well. We're going to play this off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the wind. We have a draw bias, so it's going to kind of keep it out a little bit more, a little bit earlier. So let's do that. Again, I want to finish left of the hole. And I push open it. And unfortunately, we're probably going to roll down the hill. We did. All right, so we have 20 inches up. It's 1.5 feet for every inch. So for this, we do 1.5. So that's 30 is what we're going to be adding. So 30 to 89. But again, I'm going to add a little bit because when I'm hitting it up the hill, I like to play this aggressive. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, the way that I'm going to look at this putt is I'm going to visualize this putt as it's going through all of this break. So this initial break, this left to right at my feet, I'm going to ignore it completely because I'm hitting this very firm. Now, as it goes up the hill, this putt is going to lose some speed, which is going to increase the break from it. So I'm going to visualize this coming up the hill and breaking right to left, which is going to be about right there. Now, as it comes up the hill, this does deaden out and starts to break left to right. So the way that it works is the first about 3 feet, the ball is straightening out, and then it starts to break back left to right or right to left, whatever it is. So those beads that are moving left to right, the first bead, you're going to essentially ignore it because that's just going to be straightening the ball out. And then the last 2 beads is where it's going to break back. So I'm going to bring this over a little bit. Let's put that right there. Oh, still short. My God. They changed the green speeds up, and I'm pretty sure it has completely... You know what? I'm going to test this right now. I'm pretty sure that it has completely changed the math. Let's go back to our previous position. So I went to 95. So let's do a 2-to-1. So let's add 40. Let's go 99. And let's hit about that same putt. Let's see if 99 does it. It might be 2-to-1 now. I underswing. All right. We're gonna go again. 99. Play it off. All right. Let's try this again. Is it 2-to-1? So it's about 2-to-1. Okay. 2-to-1 is the new distancing. Just add a little bit more. So it's like 2.05. All right, 2-to-1. I'm glad I know that. We can test that. That was a great line, by the way. All right, we have another par 5 here. So 24 down is going to add 8. So 300. This is actually completely fine. We should be safe here. I'm going to choke tee shot it just in case. I slightly pulled it, but that's all right. We just get in between these bunkers. 330, and we're bringing a 2-iron in. All right, let's take a look at this green. So 10 feet up. We know now 3-to-1. So that's going to take about 3 off. So this is going to be 227. So about right here. We know that the 2-iron is going to roll out a bit. Also, when you're coming into an elevated green, because it's cutting out the drop point of your irons, coming into elevated greens usually means bigger skip on your first bounce and less spin, because it's cutting the loft of the ball descending. So a 2-iron, this is going to roll out more. Even if I'm doing like an 8-iron, it's going to still spin less, roll out a little bit more because it's cutting, because the way the ball flight is, it's coming like this, and then it's peaking, and then it's dropping. But if you're at a higher elevation, instead of it hitting like this, it's coming in and hitting like this. So less trajectory. It's coming in shallower, which is going to, you know, make the ball roll out more, have less spin. So for this, I am actually going to deaden this out. And what I mean by that is if you see the arrows, so if I do this, it adds spin. I actually want this to roll a little bit more. So to do that, we do something like this. You see how the arrows are slowing down? That means there's less spin. So it's 232 in right now. We're deadening it out. We're going to take away 3, so it's going to be 229. But this is going to roll some. It's going to roll out probably, I would say, at least 5 to 6 yards. So we're actually going to play this. Now we have the wind. We have a draw bias, again, remember. So even if I take this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw bias is going to kick the wind a little bit more. We have a downhill lie, which will actually flatten out the trajectory. So I'm going to bring this back just a touch. We have a right to left lie, so we adjust for that. All right, let's hit it. Ah, bad bounce. Terrible bounce. And that downhill lie actually flattened it out so much that I landed short of the green, which is not what I wanted to do. And I should have adjusted for that. All right, downhill lie. Or downhill putt. 4 inches. We don't have much of a backstop, so I am going to actually play this 37. I'm going to do there. Because I do want to be a little bit careful. I don't want to run this like down into the shit in the back right here, you know? So I'm always usually a little cautious on my downhill putts. Now, the thing with downhill putts is the break at your feet is actually greater because you are hitting it a little bit softer. So because of that, I'm actually going to play this quite a bit out to adjust for that. And we, again, for me, I visualize the putt. Now, you can go and get the bead counting and, you know, adjust that way. But I'm going to visualize this. So we're going to play it out here. So by the time that it reaches here, it should have broken back right to left. Now, again, we do have break at the cup, as you can see. The cup has left to right. So because of that, again, the first like 3 feet you ignore, and then I'm going to play this back a little bit to adjust for that left to right break. So let's do here, and let's hit it. Close. Close. Very close. I mean, either way, good lag putt, we get a birdie. All right, this is a grip and rip right here. Now, the one thing that is very, you want to make sure, like, you don't want to get yourself into a position where you're in between clubs. So for me, like, 118 is really good. 98's really good. So, like, if I take this all the way out, it's 15 down. So it's going to add about 5 yards, so 297. So if I take it to 297 with roll, you know, we're probably going to get about that much roll. That takes us to 111. So that's actually pretty good for me for a choked shot with my 52 degree. So I'm just actually going to grip and rip this. The wind's going to bring this back a little bit to the right. But this all slopes out left to right. So this should be good. We get a massive bounce. Oh, God, 333. This is actually beautiful, because now I'm a choked shot away with my 60 degree. Wind at our back. Now, I'm actually going to spin the shit out of this. Because, again, it's not that bad of a slope from back to front, so I'm not too worried about that. we are going to spin this. It's 4 up, so it's going to take about a yard. And the wind is slightly at our back. So this should finish just top side of the cup and roll back. We have to adjust for the lie. So wind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I haven't been doing a full 7 because of choke tee shot, because it does get through the wind a little bit better. But I am going to add a little bit more since it is left to right. And we're hitting a draw bias, so it comes out right. And because of that, it's going to hold it out there a little bit longer. Now, the lie at our feet is pretty abysmal. Red all the way through. So I'm actually going to play this out even more. Now, again, the thing with, 60-degree, 52-degree pitching wedge, the lie doesn't affect it as much, but it still does affect it. So let's try this out. Slightly open, which is going to take distance away. And as you can see, the lie doesn't matter as much. So that's just an adjustment that I have to make for that specific lie that I had. But we're still close. So, and also the open, when you open, close it, it removes distance. It reduces distance that you get. Like, that probably took 3-ish yards off of the distance that I would have had. All right, so again, I like to, like I said, I like to overpower it and hit through break on my uphill putts. This is breaking a little bit, though. Let's try there. And it didn't break at all. Tough. That's the problem with playing it by, playing it by feel. Win some, you lose some with your putts. All right, we have a par 4, 292, 35 down is what we have. So, again, about 12 yards. So, instead of 292, we're going to get 304. So, let's see where 304 is. 304 is playing with fire on this bunker. We do not want to be in the bunker. Now, I can just play to shoot it through the bunker, but I don't want to do that. Not even remotely. So we're going to play it off to the right. Again, 304. Playing it off to the right. Not that bad. Now, this actually slopes right to left. And I don't want to have a really firm bounce into this with my draw bias and skip it into the bunker. So I'm actually going to play a fade here. Fade it into the wind, kind of deaden this out a little bit so I don't have like a crazy bounce and roll and, end up like poorly in the bunker somewhere or end up on the side hill or something like that. So that's a good shot there. All right, we have a 5-iron in. Down 4, it's going to add 1 to 199. Again, 5-iron is going to roll out some. We're coming into a sloped left to right. And a little bit of a down slope right here in the middle of the shot. So I'm going to bring it back some. Add a little spin. We have a severe downhill lie, which is going to flatten this out, which is going to remove distance, but it's going to increase roll. So this might actually be very good. We have a right to left. Now, something you can do with lie is I can actually cut into this a little bit, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut into this lie a touch. Let's play it here. This should roll out right. Beautiful. Again, we're going to kind of beat through the break a little bit. Perfect. Nice little birdie again. All right. We are up the hill. Sorry, down the hill. Jeez. 8. Wind straight in our face. I mean, this is a grip and rip. Wind in our face. Not even worried about it. All right, we have 7 up. Now, this is plateaued out. So if we end up short, that's bad. If we end up to the right, that's also bad. If we end up long even, that's not great. We have to hit a very specific shot into this region. So we have to be very specific with the shot that we take. Now, you can bail out like short and have an uphill putt. You can also bail out to the right too if you're not, that comfortable with hitting a very specific shot like this. One thing you don't want to do, finishing to the left is actually bad because you're going to be chipping this out into a downslope. Finishing long is also bad because then you run the risk of, slamming it down the hill. So if I was to choose like a bailout spot, I'd probably bail out to the right here. Like if you're not confident with your shot, I would bail this out to the right and give yourself an uphill putt because it's all uphill, even past the hole a little ways. So just play it out to the right and just get it here and have yourself an uphill putt. That's what I would do. Like if I'm, maybe if I'm not hitting the ball well, but I'm going to try to go right at this. So 7 feet up, that's going to take away 2. So 152, 6 mile an hour wind as well. So we're hitting it into a wind. So instead of 152, 7 mile an hour, that's going to bring this back probably here at least. 9 iron is going to actually stick a little bit. What's our lie? Our lie is actually pretty flat. I'm going to actually just straight up hit this right here. If I end up a little bit past, that's fine. I want to end up just a touch short, though. Yeah, I'm going to do right here. I'm not even going to change anything. Perfect. Legit perfect. There we go. And that's a birdie. I mean, if we didn't count me, screwing around on number 5, we probably would be shooting very well by now. Like very, very well. But I'm only gonna do the front 9 here. I'm not gonna do the full course because this video would be probably an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm just gonna do the front 9 for you all. But that is just my thought process with everything. That is how I attack a course. That is how I go through, like, that's all of that stuff that I just talked through is just kind of the on-the-fly thing that I do, like, just in my brain. And that comes with, thousands and thousands of hours in this series. Like, you've just kind of seen everything, you've done everything, and you can kind of, gauge your shots by seeing so many shots that you have taken. But I hope this video was actually helpful. If you're, learning the game, let me know what you think of it. If this is something that you would like me to do a little bit more of at different course styles. Like this one was a little bit lower of wind, but good elevation change and good bunkering, so you can kind of see where the course management is there. But if you'd like to see more of this style of video at different types of courses, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video. Think about subscribing to the channel too for all of the PGA Tour 2K25 content that you could ever need. I will be bringing it to this channel, so if you're interested, think about subscribing to the channel. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will catch you on the next one.